Hello everyone. So we are here in part 1 of pre-Shakespearean drama, which is dated from 1400 to 1500. In first lecture I taught you about the different ages: old age, medieval age, Elizabethan age, and the period Renaissance. So pre-Shakespearean drama covers medieval period. Pre-Shakespearean drama, why we have this title? That from medieval age to after Elizabethan age, there are three parts of drama, that is pre-Shakespearean, Shakespearean and post-Shakespearean. Why we have? Because Shakespeare is such a biggest name that everything is around him, that what was the drama's existence before him, how he enlarged the form, and what happened when he died. So here we will understand then when Shakespeare was not in the film, then who were there and what were there, and also we will understand that how the drama, the form has begun. So before starting our actual lecture, I want to give you some historical background about the origin of the form drama. Before Shakespeare or before plays flourished in Elizabethan age, there were three types of drama were in fashion during medieval period. So when Elizabeth age started, or we can say when Renaissance has just begun, there were actually three types of plays were existed before when Elizabeth started and Shakespeare started. What type of plays were actually written before that, we are understanding that here. So there are actually three types of plays, in which two are very important, which you should understand. These two actually establish the way for Shakespeare and the other playwrights. So the first is church plays, the plays which has written for church, by church, about the church. These plays were mostly religious. They were written by religious people and only played in churches. So it is very easy to understand. This drama developed during the medieval period seems to owe little or nothing to the classical drama of Rome or of Greece. So what it says here, that when, if you remember, I told you when there was an old age in England, three tribes came there from Germany, from Denmark, that is Anglo-Saxon and Jutes. So that period is known as an Anglo-Saxon. But before that, there were Roman people who were ruling the England. If you remember Julius Caesar, he was the Roman king. But when these three tribes came, before that the empire of Roman was fall. There was big wars, as I told you that there were so many wars. There were big wars and the whole Roman empire got ruined. Whole big cities were burnt. So what happened that time? There was literature. That's why we said that is a classical literature. As I said, in the neoclassical age, when Alexander Pope used to write, they followed classical writers of the Roman period. Okay, you should remember this thing. But when Romans were ruling, there were two types of drama: Greek drama, Rome drama, literary drama, and mime. So when they got ruined, when fall of Rome happened, with it literary drama. See, it is said further, either to the literary drama or popular Roman mime. So when church play came to exist in medieval period, the dramas of old period, or the drama of old period, which is Roman mime and literary drama, started to stop. They actually ceased. Ceased matlab, what happened when Rome was fall, with it literary drama fall also, and mime, which was stopped by church. See, it is said further, literary drama disappeared with the fall of Rome and not appeared until the Renaissance. So old age it was written in old age, then it is again started to written in Renaissance, but between it in medieval period the existence of literary drama stopped. So it was stopped. Then Roman mime, what happened with it, that Roman mime were banned by church because it find it vulgar. Vulgar in the sense because it is not talking about the gods and their deeds. That's why they find it vulgar, and church stopped to making of the play and showing on the theaters. So it was completely banned. So in medieval period we don't have any type of a Roman drama or any type of a Roman mime. So if we don't have such a place, so people cannot be inspired by them because we don't have that kind of existence. As I told you in Renaissance period, that writers of Renaissance period were inspired by Greek literature, Roman literature, in poetry, in other forms, but we don't have a drama, so there is no inspiration for it. That's why English drama are mostly original in comparing the other art forms. So now what did the church, that this time the church was against theatre, but then it started to produce drama only for church, which are mostly religious and shown on the festival days. So they started a completely new type of drama because literary drama was already stopped. They banned mime, so they started completely new drama that talks about only about gods, very religious, and they used to play it on the big festival days. So these medieval dramas are different from the Roman drama. They did a new beginning in this genre. That's why they are not like the Roman plays, which were the biggest inspiration for the later ages. But right now in medieval period, Roman drama were not for inspiration. So church plays are completely new and original form and genre. There are three types of church plays we have, that is mystery plays, miracle plays and morality plays. We will learn about them here. That mystery plays, what is mystery plays? That medieval mystery plays focused on the representation of Bible stories in churches. They told the subjects such as the creation, Adam and Eve, the murder of Abel and last judgment. So in mystery plays basically talks about whatever stories we have in Bible. Okay, the source of mystery play, it is Bible. Now what happens in miracle plays? So miracle plays or saints plays, that is the another name for miracle plays, are now distinguished from mystery plays as they specifically reenacted miraculous inventions by the saint, particularly Saint Nicholas or Saint Mary. There was a time when miracle play and mystery plays were used to compared as a one form, but we can separate them, that miracle play only focus on the life stories of saints, that how from the humble people they turned to saints. Especially they used to talk about Saint Nicholas and Saint Mary. So mystery plays are about Bible stories, miracle plays are about the stories of saints. Now morality plays, there are different type of play, and we can say morality plays have give the way to the what we have right now because they are more imaginative. Because mystery play has only one source, that is Bible. Miracle play has only one source, that is saints. Morality plays are more free. How? Morality plays are the type of allegory in which the protagonist is met by personification of various moral attributes like beauty, strength, vice, death, virtues, devil, others, who try to prompt them to choose a good life over one of evil. So morality plays which talks about morality, that we should be moral in our life. So first morality plays are like allegory. Now if you don't know allegory, allegory is a type where writer shows something but says something else. Like the story above, it is something but the meaning of it completely different, that is called allegory. So here protagonists are personified. Personified in Gujarati we say it as a Sajivaropan. We give life to the ideas or the things and they start to behave, to act like a human. So like protagonists like men and women who are actors are actually personified by the vices and virtues. Like if somebody is a beauty, then whatever beauty the quality is, it is represented by it. And the moral of the story is always that we should be moral, we should be good, we should not be evil. In the own time, these plays were also known as interludes, a border term for drama with or without a moral. You should also remember that morality plays somewhat famous as the interludes. I will explain it further. And sometimes in interludes they are moral or sometimes they are not. The morality made a distinct advance over the miracle in that it gave free scope to the imagination for new plots and incidents. Because morality plays are not based on Bible or in the life of saint, so they could do something imaginative, they could do something different. That's why morality plays are most famous plays. The most characteristic personage of the morality plays were the devil and the wise. Devil and wise are two characteristics that always appear in almost every plays. The play generally ended in the triumph of virtue. The devil leaped into the hell mouth with voice on his back. Basically always this play ended where virtue wins over vice, and it always suggests that we should be good in our life. Among the famous morality plays are, these are the names: The Marriage of Wit and Wisdom, Everyone, The Four Elements, The Trial of Treasure, Lusty Juvenets, Hike's Corner and the Castle of Perseverance, The Pride of Life and the Castle of Perseverance. See, I have mentioned here a poster of a Everyman. Why? Because it is a very famous morality play. Further, I will tell you that among of you have to write down the story and you have to give me some idea about the play Everyone. After morality play, we little bit understand about the interlude. Interlude is a very famous form. Let's see, understand it first. Between the episode of these plays, comic scenes were usually acted. They had almost no relation to the story, and that is known as the interlude. Now what is interlude? If you see, like if you are seeing some movie which is very very sad, in which everyone is dying and tragedy and everyone is so much in pain, but if in movie we have a celebrated song, in a song when everyone is celebrating, in a sad ગુજરાતીમાં તમને જણાવું, ધારો કે તમે કોઈ સેડ મૂવી જોઈ રહ્યા છો, કોઈ ટ્રેજિક મૂવી જોઈ રહ્યા છો, એ આખી મૂવી એકચ્યુઅલી ટ્રેજિક છે, પણ એની અંદર કોઈક એવો સીન છે જે હસી ખુશીવાળો છે, ભલે નાનકડો છે, જેમાં કોઈક સરસ મજાનું મસ્તીભર્યું સોંગ છે, જેમાં બધા મજા કરે છે, એવો એક નાનકડો પ્રસંગ છે, તો એ પ્રસંગને આપણે ઇન્ટરલૂડ કહેશું, કે જે ટ્રેજેડીના વચમાં આવે છે અને એને વાર્તાને ઘણીવાર સાથે કાંઈ લેવું દેવું હોતું નથી, એ બસ ત્યાં થોડીક વાર માટે હોય છે. એનું રીઝન ત્યાં હોવાનું એ છે કે આખું આપણે જ્યારે ટ્રેજેડીનો પ્લે જોઈએ છીએ તો આપણે જો થોડું ઘણું હસી ખુશીને નાખી દઈએ તો આપણે ટ્રેજેડી થોડીક સહન કરી શકીએ છીએ, તો એ નોર્મલી ઇન્ટરલૂડ કહેવાય છે. સો ઇન ઓલ્ડન એજ સમટાઈમ ઇન્ટરલૂડ વોઝ યુઝ ટુ અ હોલ પ્લે, બટ ધેન after some time it became a kind of a scene and kind of a anecdotes in a whole play, which is only there to make some kind of a happiness, to some type of a celebration. Interludes were dramatized as a feast and entertainments which supplies amusement for court and nobility. So that is like in a whole play, interludes is only for celebration. The four P's, a contest of wit between a partner, a palmer, a paddler and a apothecary. So it is a very famous play which is written by John Heywood. John Heywood is a very famous person for writing the interludes, but his play The Four P's is very famous. In the play there are kind of a contest between four people who starts name with P, that's why it is a 4P. Now this is the form which we understand that first play. We have discussed that there are three types of a play before even the starting of a Shakespearean play. So first is a church play, then is a pageants. What is the pageants? Like there was also another type of a performance in English cities, that is pageants. pantomimes reenacting episodes from the history of the particular city. So that kind of a pageant world, they have a particular source that if they are talking about some kind of a historical value of some particular city, that is pageant. So that was the second type of a play. The first one is obviously church play, and among them morality play are very famous. Then we saw pageant. Now the very important part, it is university wits. Again I am repeating, we are talking here pre-Shakespearean drama, which was first is church play, which is mostly for church. Then we saw pageants, which is only talking about the history of cities. Now we have university plays. So the first play only for the churches, church people. Then the second is a small troupe who used to do historical events of a city. Now what is university play? England of the 16th century also knew a third type of performance, play staged by university students. Now that is a form which is established in universities. So different kind of a university like Oxford and Cambridge, student of these university used to write plays and used to perform at universities. They were played by Roman dramatists Seneca, Plautus and Terence. They were acted in Latin. So these three names are very important. I have given photo in a row, that is first one is Seneca, second is Plautus and third one is Terence. These three names is very important. Why? Because they have inspired the university wit writers, which actually gave a way to Shakespeare. And usually they play were in a Latin language. Later on, original English plays written in imitation of this author began to appear. So first these three writers of a Roman, these three were Roman dramatists who inspired to the university wits. Church plays were not inspired by Roman or Greek literature. Pageant is a completely different, because they are only talking about the history of cities. Now university wits writers were actually inspired by these three writers, and they have got influenced by them, and they have write their drama according these three writers has written. Such were the foundation of the glorious English drama of the Renaissance. That's why you have to remember university wits most, because they gave way to the English drama of Renaissance. If we are seeing some drama, some form in drama in Renaissance, because university wits were inspired by Roman and Shakespeare was inspired by university wits, and after Shakespeare, writers were inspired by Shakespeare. That's why this is kind of a link. That's why we should remember how university wits have become very popular and what they actually established for the huge English drama in general. So we will see the further them. They have influence of Seneca, Plautus and Terence, how they inspired this university wits dramatist. The artistic period is the final stage in the development of English drama. Now you should understand what is here. University wits writers used to write artistic drama because they followed artistic writers of Roman period. Plautus and Terence helped to develop English comedy. Remember, if we have comedy right now, because somewhere in some time Plautus and Terence inspired the writer for comedy. Under the influence of Plautus, Nicholas Udal, that's why I have given different color, you have to remember this writer. Nicholas Udal, the headmaster of Eton, wrote a first regular English comedy, Ralph Roister Doister, in 1541. This is the play which is known as first English comedy. In last lecture I asked if you know the first English novel. There are so many novels which we can say are famous as a first novel. Some are saying that Thomas More's Utopia is a first, then some are saying Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe's first play, some are saying Pamela Andrews of Richardson is the first novel. So there are so many first novels we have, but it is generally considered that Ralph Roister Doister is the first English comedy. written in 1541. And then notable next comedy is Grammar Gurton's Needle was written by unidentified Mr. S about 1560. So these two are the first comedies in which Ralph Roister Doister is the first one. Then this is the story of a comedy. Now for tragedy. Under the influence of Seneca, the Latin playwright, Seneca was a Latin writer, means they were from Greek and Rome, that the first English tragedy, Gorboduc, was written by Thomas Sackville and Thomas Norton. It was acted in 1562. Shakespeare started in 1590. So before that we have these writers. They are known as a artistic writers, which was inspired by these three Roman writers, Seneca, Plautus and Terence. Now further I will suggest some of you students that please study these three plays too, because જે નોલેજ તમને અત્યારે મળે છે કે કઈ ઇંગ્લિશ પહેલી નવલકથા છે કે કઈ ઇંગ્લિશ પહેલી કોમેડી છે કે ટ્રેજેડી છે, અમને કોલેજમાં ક્યારેય ખબર પડી ન હતી. અમે જ્યારે MA કરતા હતા ત્યારે અમને ખબર પડી કે આ તો પહેલી નોવેલ છે અથવા તો પહેલી કોમેડી છે, ટ્રેજેડી. તો મારો એવો હેતુ છે કે તમને અત્યારથી જ આ નાની મોટી ઇન્ફોર્મેશન મળતી રહે, કે તમે ખાલી સિલેબસ ભણીને નથી નીકળી ગયા, તમારી પાસે ખરેખર કાંઈ નોલેજ છે. તો એટલા માટે કહું છું કે હું તમારામાંથી અમુક સ્ટુડન્ટ્સને સજેસ્ટ કરીશ કે તમે આવી જે પ્લે છે આપણા, જે ખાસ કરીને મેં જે આવી રીતે કર્યા છે હાઇલાઇટ, એ તમારે એના વિશે થોડીક માહિતી મેળવો. ભલે તમારા સિલેબસમાં નથી, બટ યુ મસ્ટ નો અબાઉટ ધેમ. ઓકે, આફ્ટર ધેટ